Hey, what's up YouTube? You're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I'm going to take my favorite little toy drone, the Syma X5C, and put an FPV camera on it and see what it's like to fly at FPV. So stay tuned. So first of all, if you're new to this channel, I hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell because we do a lot of videos about toy drones, a lot of videos about FPV, DJI drones, a wide variety of things. So if you like drones and RC, definitely consider subscribing. And second of all, you've heard me talk about this before if you watch this channel. The Syma X5C is absolutely one of the best little outdoor flyers for line of sight. So that said, having flown it for a long time, I decided what would it be like to fly it FPV, meaning first person view. So I ordered this little FPV camera transmitter combo from Amazon. It's a analog transmitter with a little analog camera, and it has 40 channels, and it transmits over 5.8 gigahertz at 200 milliwatts, which is a pretty good amount actually. Most little FPV cameras are set for 25 milliwatts, and that's so that you don't interfere with other FPV cameras if you're racing. So if you are going to fly this around other FPV pilots, be careful that you don't cross-talk across their channels. But if you're flying by yourself, it should be just fine, and 200 milliwatts will give you enough power to fly through the trees and such. This thing was not very expensive. I'll link below on Amazon if you want to check it out, but you could mount this to just about anything. Now, the one thing it didn't come with is a battery, so I happen to have this JJRC 2S battery that happens to have the right connection, which I believe this is called a JST connector, this red one here. I already had two of these, so it's probably more battery than I need actually, but it's there, it's fairly flat, and it should be pretty easy to mount, so that's what I'm looking forward to here. So what I'm gonna try and do is take this and mount this whole rig to the bottom of it, because otherwise up here on the top you don't have a lot of room around before you start getting into the props. I mean, you have some space, but if you mount everything to the bottom, two things: it won't be top heavy, and number two, you won't have any issue with it hitting any of the propellers or getting in the way. So what I thought I would do is take this plastic container here. This used to have wall mount screws, the little plastic kind that you screw in and goes into hollow walls and such. And I think this is going to be a perfect size for what I want to do. And the reason I chose this is it's lightweight, it's pretty rigid, it's clear so I can see what's going on inside, and it should be pretty easy to mount this to the bottom of that guy. And also, with everything mounted inside it, you could actually land on top of it and it's not going to hurt anything. So what I think I'm going to do is take this guy and cut it in half. Now, I could totally fail at this, but we'll see how it goes. But cut this in half because I don't need the whole thing. So there's half of it right there, which is more the size that I need. And there is a convenient little spot right here with an indentation where I think I can cut this out and mount the camera into that little spot using Velcro. So what I'm going to do is just cut a little hole in this spot, a little square hole, just slightly bigger than the lens, or maybe even slightly smaller than the lens. Okay, now I know from experimentation that the top of the camera is where the connector is. In other words, this is upright, that would be upside down. One quick note about this type of camera and this type of transmitter: you don't want to ever plug this in without an antenna attached. This thing will, it tries to push power out, tries to transmit out of this attachment here, and the antenna actually dissipates that power and dissipates it so that this doesn't overheat. So attach an antenna before you connect a battery to it. And the other cool thing here, I don't know if it's visible, but you can see that you can actually change the channels on this transmitter using this little button. So if you wanted to go to a different channel, I've already adjusted these to match that, so I'm not going to do that, but you can change the channels on this. So, and I can feel it, it's getting a little warm already, the transmitter is. So I'm going to unplug it for the moment, unplug my goggles, set them back down, and now let's just see how this little guy goes in here. So if I were to put the camera right here, and if I were to kind of poke the lens out through this hole, oh, that's pretty good. And I was thinking about just using Velcro to hold the camera in place. So I think I might just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get two pieces of Velcro. That will work nicely. So I will take one of these and I will put the rough side in here, and I'll put the soft side on the camera. And let's see, if it's going to set like that, then it's going to be like this. And that's going to go right like that. Okay, and there you go. It seems to be sitting in place. So then we're going to put this guy in here, and I'm going to just cut a little hole for the antenna to poke out of the back. So if I do it on this side over here, I'll just cut a little hole that's big enough for the antenna. And then I'll poke the antenna out the back, like so. Okay, that's pretty good. Seems to kind of hold there, and I might just tape that right there against this wall. And then finally what I want to do is take the battery and tape it down, or Velcro it down inside. Do it just like so. All right, cool, that's there. So here's what that looks like. So what we've got in there is we've got the transmitter, we've got the battery, which is charged, so it should be good to go. We've got the camera here with Velcro, and then this lid will close down, and I can put some Velcro on it as well. And then the goal would be just to attach this underneath like this. Okay, so what I've got here is both sides of a pretty big piece of Velcro. I probably don't even need this much. I could probably use about half of this. So I'll put this together and I'll cut it in half. Okay. I'll take one side of it and I will put it on here, and I'll put the soft side on the camera case, and I'll put the hard side on the drone, making sure the camera's in front and it's fairly centered. And there you go. Sits on it pretty nicely, pretty easily. I think it's about ready to give it a try. All right, well, I'll tell you what, rather than trying to fly it line of sight, I'll just stick these on and see if I can fly it FPV right out of the gate. The answer is no. It's too heavy. Okay, so I went and got the big brother to the Syma X5C, the Syma X8C, which is right here. And you can see it's significantly larger than this guy, and should not have any problem lifting the payload. Let's just see if it will even take off. Oh yeah. It will. Oh yeah, full battery makes a big difference. It's definitely not the most agile drone in the world, but whoa. But it can be controlled. All right. kind of used to flying a tiny whoop around back here, which is so much smaller. This thing is self-leveling, so I'm not having to fight that. I'm just having to kind of keep it in control because it is kind of big and try not to hit anything. Wow, that was close. All right, so we brought it out to the school here. We're gonna try, it's kind of windy today, so we're gonna try flying an FPV through the trees. Flying the Syma X8C through the trees using the FPV rig. All right, that's all closed. That's good. The camera's where it should be. So I'll go ahead and put it on the Syma, put on the goggles, and let's see. Oh yeah, this is definitely better than the backyard because I got a little room to work with. You don't want to hit yourself with this guy. Whoa, and I saw that coming. Couldn't stop in time. All right, so just crashed it, but the FPV rig is still hanging on there pretty good. So I think it's all right. I'm gonna try it again from here. And I'm still seeing it, recording in the goggles. Yeah. So you got to be smooth with the throttle. You don't want to go up too high all at once. Oh, and you don't want to hit a tree like that. Once again, look at that solid plastic container hanging on. Everything still looks taped down and intact. Here we go again. Whoa, that was pretty good. The thing just is kind of big and cumbersome, and so it's not super smooth or responsive. So go upside down again. Too high. There you go.
I would not call the signal the best thing.
Come back towards us then. Okay, stop, kill it, kill it, kill it. Okay, yaw around and come back, yeah. Oh, stop. Whoa. I don't know if you could have ever done that, even if you were trying. Look at this. This is how it ended up. Very odd. Okay, so Tate did notice that when he was flying the area around here, as you got away through the trees, it definitely got some interference. Like it's not, even at 200 milliwatts, you're still getting a lot of interference from the trees and other things around here. So you got to stay within, I'd say, 50 feet of yourself in order to get a pretty clear signal. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try flying in this kind of open area, doing a big lap through the trees, and then we'll call it. So here we go. And see, right now it's pretty clear. Still pretty clear. Oh. I thought there was a gap there, but then it turned out there was a small branch. And look at that, another crash. As a matter of fact, I think we lost the door, the battery door, somewhere. I'm guessing it might be over. See, look, it broke off. I'm guessing it might be over by where we just were when it hit those branches. But the FPV rig, still intact. A couple of pieces of tape came loose, but generally it's still doing pretty good. Okay, well, it seems that my little homemade FPV rig right here worked. It stayed on. It didn't get messed up when the drone flipped around and such. And it is removable, so I could put it onto just about anything I want to, including a car, which I think I might do next. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. All the parts are listed below if you want to buy the camera and the transmitter, and then some goggles. Pretty much anything will work. These Omways are great. You could get some Fat Sharks. You could get some cheaper ones from Emax. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different possibilities. It doesn't work with the little guy here, but it worked just fine with the Syma X8C, the bigger brother. And I would imagine if you put it on a brushless drone, it would do even better. But what I'm really excited about with this is the possibility of putting this onto a car or some other RC vehicle. It's really not too bad in there. It's warm. The transmitter's definitely a little bit warm. The base of the antenna is a little bit warm, but otherwise it doesn't feel too bad inside the little plastic case. I think a couple of holes might help with airflow, but I definitely like the way it protected the drone when I landed and such. I do think it's probably a good idea when you're not flying to keep it unplugged so that it stays, doesn't overheat in this container. But overall, yeah, I feel real happy with the fact that this thing was able to let me fly the Syma X8C in FPV mode. Love to hear your comments below, or if you're thinking about putting one of these on something different, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it, see a video of it. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and thanks for watching Ready Set Drone. We'll see you next time.